Yes, I was lucky that my doctor did send me for the x-rays, a first x-ray and a second x-ray. Definitely, I was very lucky. I understand a lot of people could wait months and months and months, even as long as a year, before the GP finally acts. It's like I've never had cancer. My name's Michelle and I'm 66. I'm from London, lived here all my life. I was actually finally diagnosed in April 2021 with stage 1. I had, the beginning of February, I started getting a cough. It was a dry, persistent cough. It just wouldn't go away. I'd been using these chemicals to clean my shopping in the post, as we were advised to do, because it was during the time of the pandemic. And I remember these chemicals like going up my nose and down my throat. And I've been doing that for about a year. So I assumed I had the cough was due to these chemicals. And I did some research and I came across something called cough variant asthma. So I concluded that's what I had. So I phoned the GP and said, blah, 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 I think I've got cough variant asthma. Please prescribe me some inhalers for asthma, which he did. But he also arranged for me to have an x-ray. So I had an x-ray and it showed that I had what's called a consolidation, which is some kind of mass. And I looked that up, and apparently that can be due to a number of lung conditions, but including cancer, which I didn't think in a million years that I had. It never occurred to me. So I was prescribed antibiotics, and the cough didn't go away after a week, so the doctor prescribed me another week. And then I had a second x-ray. And this mass hadn't shrunk, no change. The doctor called me in to tell me the results of the second x-ray, but I'd stopped coughing. So that, I think, confused both of us. The GP, I remember his face, he looked totally flummoxed. And he weighed me and he just gave me more antibiotics. Even though I'd stopped coughing, but the mass was still there. So I went home. After about 10 days of not coughing, I started coughing again. I'd run out of antibiotics, but it was Easter time and the surgery was closed. But there's a medical centre across the road, there's a private doctor, and I'm against private medicine, but I was desperate, it was keeping me up at night. So I went to the doctor, private doctor, and he said, look, Michelle, I'll give you more antibiotics, but you're over 65, you are an ex-smoker. I'm going to write you a letter. I want you to hand this letter to your GP after the bank holiday. It's going to say, Michelle is over 65, she's an ex-smoker. I suggest that she has a CT scan under the 2-week rule. He says, will you do that? I said, yes. So I did that. After the bank holiday, I put the letter into the doctor. 10 days later, I had a CT scan. Everything was like a whirlwind from then on. I had a PET scan, I think it's called, body scan. I had a biopsy, I had a lung capacity test. I had a body scan that confirmed that it was cancer, I think, but it hadn't spread. I had a biopsy as well. After I was diagnosed, the second meeting I had with the consultant, she said it's definitely cancer. And she said, you're fit enough to have surgery, a lobectomy. And she said keyhole surgery. It was a huge relief. Yeah, I think it was not, my understanding, not everyone can have surgery. And I suppose I was like grateful that I've kept myself fit in a way, you know. I had the surgery in June the 8th. 2021. I was only in hospital, I think it was 2 nights. I was really worried about pain actually, and it was, as long as you tell the doctor, if you've got low pain threshold, not to worry about telling them, and they will look after you. The support's incredible. They gave me strong painkillers to take when I got home and I didn't need to take them. Where I live, there's very steep roads and I used to walk every day for half an hour with these really steep roads, and I'm able to do that now. I'm just as I was before the operation, I was told that after a while, the rest of your lung makes up for the bit of the lung that's missing. After the operation, I got a phone call from the registrar to say the operation had been a success. There was a good, what he called margin of safety. But he said, you do have this mutation. I can't remember if he actually even used that word, but he said, I'm going to send you to the specialist, and he can give you, he's going to give you some treatment for this mutation. I had this what's called EGFR mutation, and it's a type of lung cancer which they can identify through a biopsy. And I understand in the old days they'd never be able to do this, you'd never know. But the fantastic thing about this mutation is that a drug has been developed which is called targeted therapy. The consultant said, you're not eligible for it, you have to have stage 2 cancer, you've only got stage 1, get on with the rest of your life. But I found out that if the cancer does come back, I will be eligible. You know, I don't think about the future. My sister lent me, she's very much into mindfulness, which I am now actually, and she lent me a book called, I can't remember the exact title, Cancer. It was about the mindfulness for people who've had a diagnosis of cancer. And it really helped me. It encouraged me to live, to be in the moment and try not to think about the past or the future in particular, to just focus on the present moment and live day to day. Obviously not that easy, but mindfulness can really help in that. I'd recommend it to everybody. I think we should all be living day to day. We can't be constantly thinking about the past and worrying about the future, because what's the point? You know.